They come while you sleep. This happens to a lot of people who are waking up to their spirituality, waking up to their conscious self. They start to realize they're having experiences when they sleep. They wake up in their sleep and they see an energy body in the room. They may wake up and see something physical in the room. Or they have dreams, and they have dreams that seem like they were real, but they have layers, and they have things that they don't necessarily trust. Sleep is a very important time because it's when we're shut off from the 3D world. It's when our physical body is shut off. We don't have an ability to fight or flight because we're turned off. So they come because it's safe. That's the biggest thing with sleep. They come because it's safe. Our astral bodies leave our body, go to do work, go other places. And so we can be doing work and not even know it because a lot of people do not understand they have an astral body, that their soul travels, goes to other worlds, realms, goes about the earth, heals, helps people, learns, does other things. Even goes to see ETs. ETs come when we sleep because of that ability to work with us when we're not in a fear state, when we're shut off. They come to us in that state to help us with upgrades, downloads, spiritual upgrades, energetic upgrades. They help us with healing. I once woke up and had a guy standing over me with a device in his hand, and he was scanning me. And he was scanning me with this device. And I had been, I think at that time I was either getting sick or I had been sick. And I woke up and I saw him and I went, what are you doing here? And I knew who it was, so it's shocking. When that happens, it's shocking. You're allowed to be shocked. There's a difference between shock and fear. So when that happens and you overcome the fear, you have this shock. You're like, somebody's standing by my bed. Yeah, of course I'm shocked. But then you bring yourself back to it and you're like, okay, nothing to be afraid of. What are you doing? And he was scanning me for my health. I've had them come to my bed and simply hold my hand and tell me they were real, telepathically. I had Arcturians tell me, hold my hand and be like, we are real, you are loved, you are here. None of this is false, and I can feel their hands. I've had memories in my sleep release, memories of the past. And so some of your dreams may not be experiences of the now moment. They may be experiences that your divine team is letting you remember through dream, especially if they're recurring. So I've had those memories of being on the lab tables, being on the doctor's tables, having beings moving around, looking at what I'm doing or who I am, working on me, and me not understanding what's going on and being very afraid. And I had the memories so clearly that I've actually felt their fingers on my hands, on my body, that sort of thing. There are times I've had dreams when I was a kid of UFOs coming and being excited because I could go to bed and see my friends. And when I was in a chaotic household, a very abusive household, mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically. But I was excited because I got to go. I got to go to a place where my friends loved me, and I knew that. I remember being lifted out of my bed and hovered out the window with a being who was a Zeta-like being standing beside me doing that. I woke to that happening, to me dropping down in my bed one time when I was, I don't know how old I was, 33, 34 probably, maybe a little younger. That's when I started realizing that they really were ETs. Actually, I was probably younger because I was writing my fantasy books, I believe, after that, so I was probably more like 30. But the dreams aren't always just dreams. I had a Sasquatch in my dreams. I would have these recurring dreams about going into this building, walking through this building in this basement, and I would wake up in the dream and be like, oh, I know they're here. I know they're here. Where are they at? Because I knew what was around the corner. And out would walk a Sasquatch. Very hair. Best way to describe them, other than just saying they had long brown hair, black faces, the best way to describe them that I have found is just saying if you took a silverback gorilla and Chewbacca from Star Wars and a human and crossed all three together. Strong, hairy, big. He would come out, and I would take off running in fear and just try to get out of this area, this basement, or wherever I ended up being. Years later, having a meditation where I met one in meditation, which started the whole process of me connecting with them consciously, and them telling me your dreams weren't just dreams, they were from a Sasquatch in the area, and me starting to realize that it was a Sasquatch from the woods who would see me when I was crying or upset, or sense me when that was happening, and was just trying to be a friend. But because I was in a dream state, I had no idea what was going on. It translated as fear, and I took off. Our dreams aren't necessarily dreams. Sometimes they're remembrance. They're the memories that we're reliving, trying to understand. Sometimes they're communications and experiences of beings astral traveling and us consciously working together. Sometimes they're downloads and activations, and we're interpreting them as dreams. Sometimes they're the real events where we wake up and it's going on right now, and we fall back asleep, and then we go, oh, because we were in that state of wake up, see stuff happening, fall back asleep, we think, oh, it was a dream. It's not. Not all the time, anyway. And so you can experience these beings in your sleep. And when you sleep, this is why I talk about sleep being a meditation, utilizing sleep. There are ways to utilize sleep. One of those ways is when you're falling asleep to do dream work, to train your brain to remember, train your mind to remember, and train yourself to be awake. And you do that as you fall asleep and your head's on the pillow. You don't have to say it out loud. If you say it out loud, it'll tend to, for some people, they'll say it too loud and it'll wake them up. So I just recommend repeating it in your mind and seeing the words in your mind, kind of taking 3 deep breaths. As I say with every meditation, you take 3 deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth, and then you say to yourself, I remember my dreams and I am conscious while dreaming. And you say that 3 times. I remember my dreams and I am conscious while dreaming. I remember my dreams and I am conscious while dreaming. Does 3 things, or 2 things. 3 things, but it trains your brain, shifts your energy, and programs you. It programs you to remember in the morning when you wake up. And it shifts your energy so that you're conscious and able to make decisions in your dreams and aware that it's a dream. Now, there's more to this work. There's a lot more to it than just that, but this is the starting point. Without getting into the big topic of dream work, this is a starting point to get you started, where you can say this and you'll remember and you'll become conscious. And that usually helps within a week with people's dream memory. Doing that every day as they fall asleep. Another thing is to put a notepad beside your bed. Put a notepad beside your bed. And when you have those moments where you wake up and you remember a dream and it feels important and it feels like an event or an experience, jot down a couple keywords real quick. You don't have to make real detailed notes, just keywords. I usually write one word or 1 to 2 word phrases. The idea is when you see it in the morning to trigger your memory, because you're working your physical body, you're working your mind, and you're doing the affirmations. So when you wake up in the morning, you see those keywords and it will trigger the remembrance of that dream if you don't remember it right away. The other thing is to journal. Journal in the morning, journal your dreams. A lot of people will go, well, I don't remember my dreams. You do. If you do that affirmation, you'll start. And when you do that, you'll start, and might start with a word, a sentence, 2 sentences. When I started dream work years and years ago back in college, I was writing like 2-3 sentences per dream, if that. It built over the course of a month to where I was writing a page. And then years later, I was writing 10-15 pages and spending an hour or 2 journaling in the morning. Too much time. I had to go back. I don't journal my dreams anymore unless something important happens. Then I go back and I journal it. If I know it was an experience, if I know it was something for me to handle. But the idea is, in the beginning, you need to do that. That's something you really should be doing, because it's going to build your dream memory. It's going to build your dream muscles, skills, your ability to remember in your sleep and do work in your sleep, future work. And so you journal it, and then you can go back later, once a week, reread it. You can go back 6 months later if you're having prophetic visions, or if guides are coming to you, ETs are coming to you and giving you messages, and be like, oh, that actually happened. As you develop, you can go back and be like, wow, that dream was actually an experience. That was some experience that I remember now, but I was remembering it as a dream. Like it actually happened. And these beings are beings I'm working with, however you're working with them. So sleep is important because it's a safe space. You can do dream work, which is safe, a safe space. Granted, there are some types of dream work people will be like, don't do X, Y, Z, but for the purposes of what I teach this safer methods to where you can feel safe doing this work. And just remembering and being conscious is very clear. It's very easy, you're not going anywhere, you're not forcing yourself to travel or anything like that. You're just getting yourself into a state of remembrance and exercising your dream muscles. So work on that. Work on remembering your dreams, work on journaling them, review them, try to figure out which ones are experiences and which ones aren't. And if you wake up in the middle of the night and you see something, journal it. Even if you're like, wow, I saw that and it wasn't a dream, journal it. Journal what you saw. Did you see an energy body? Did you see code scrolling on the walls? Did you see geometric shapes? These are all things I've experienced. All things others I've worked with have experienced. Journal them so you remember them in the future, and here's why. It's not just about remembering them for yourself. Part of it is so when people throw you into a cycle of doubt, you can go back, look at the journal entries, and be like, yes, that did happen. I'm not going crazy. I didn't make that up in my mind. That did happen. I wrote that down exact. You can go back and review it. You have it. Recently I was told on I think it was a TikTok or something, that I had posted about ocean beings, and somebody said, oh, somebody saw the Avatar, the new Avatar Way of Water movie. And things like that are difficult, because then it can throw you into a cycle of doubt about what you're actually experiencing. But then you go back and you go, wait, they're saying that, but what they don't realize is I've been doing this since before the first one. I've been doing this way longer. And you can go back and be like, I have my journal entries. I know my timelines. Even if your family and friends are telling you that you're not experiencing or that something's wrong, you can go back and actually say, no, this isn't because I watched a movie. This isn't because this happened. This goes back farther than that. This goes back to this, or, you know, whatever it is. And especially with prophetic dreams, if you have those, it's good proof of concept for those. But for contact, for experiences, journal everything. You wake up in the middle of the night, you see something, journal it. You might not understand it. You wake up in the night, you see code scrolling, journal it. You wake up in the morning, you hear a voice in your head or music. Pay attention to that. That's your guides talking to you. That's the beings talking to you. Mine often put songs in my head first thing in the morning. A couple of days, as you can see, you can't really tell in the video. It looks brighter because I have the light on. It's real cloudy and gray out. It's winter. Sunlight isn't, you know, Northeast Ohio, Great Lakes area. Sunlight is iffy at best. The days that sunlight appeared, I would wake up this week, past couple weeks probably, I'd wake up and I would hear, "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles, I think. "Here Comes the Sun," that song. I'd hear that playing on loop and I couldn't figure it out. It took me a few days to realize every time they were playing that song in my head when I woke up, the sun was out and I needed to go for a walk to absorb the sunlight. Your guides, ETs, others will talk to you in those moments where you wake, especially in the middle of the night, because they might be standing right there. So pay attention to your sleep. It's important. That's the whole purpose of this video, is just pay attention to your sleep. Do some affirmations, do some dream work. At some point, I hope to have my dream course created that goes more into more depth with dream work. But for now, practice the affirmations, practice paying attention in your sleep, practice journaling, and just have that awareness that not all dreams are psychological dreams. Many of them are. Many of them are the psychological standards, but a lot of dreams are astral travel, prophecy, communication, memories, remembering things, even just waking up in the middle of the night and thinking it was a dream. So keep that in mind with your sleep, because a lot of contact, for those of you that are starting, that's where it's going to happen. That's where your body is going to become more sensitive to what is around you vibrationally as you raise your vibration. And you will feel beings pop into the room and it will wake you. You will feel them standing beside your bed and it will wake you. And you'll see them, whether they're physical, energetic, however they appear. You'll feel that. You know, I, just as a segue or a side note, when I was in college, I had a friend, like, I would be sleeping in my bed. He would walk in the room and start talking to my roommate. Now, them talking never bothered me. I could sleep through that. I'm a deep sleeper. But if he walked over to the bed and looked at me, I would roll over and go, "What?" I would just snap right awake and go, "What?" And he would just go, "How do you do that? How are you asleep this whole time? And then when I come up to stare at you and just look at you to kind of like mess with you, you roll over knowing I'm looking at you, like, because I can feel you." And that's what happens. The more you pay attention, the more you raise your vibration, the more you're going to feel those around you, human or not. So when something is in your room, you're going to feel it, and it's going to bring you back to your body. It's going to wake you up, and you're going to be like, "There's something here." And it's okay. It's okay if something's there. It's okay if you don't see it. It does not mean it's malicious. It just means to have more awareness, to work on telepathy, and to work on the understanding that sleep is a tool for experience in a variety of ways. Thank you for watching. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. If you have questions, let me know, and I love you all.